Hello brothers and welcome to Sigma Old Man channel. The greatest fear of a manipulator is meeting someone who can't be manipulated. That's the Sigma male in a nutshell. A walking enigma who shatters the control narcissists and manipulators think they have over the world. Did you know that studies show around 6% of people exhibit narcissistic traits? But here's the kicker. While most people unknowingly fall into their traps, Sigma males don't just avoid them, they dismantle them entirely. It's like watching a master chess player go up against someone trying to play checkers. One is 10 moves ahead while the other doesn't even realize the game is already over. If you've ever seen a narcissist squirm or a manipulator look downright baffled, chances are a Sigma male was involved. Get ready, because we're diving into why these lone wolves terrify the most cunning personalities in ways that are equal parts brilliant and devastating. Number 1. They see through manipulative scripts instantly. Sigma males have an almost supernatural ability to see through the layers of manipulation that narcissists and manipulators wrap themselves in. It's not magic, it's their razor-sharp intuition combined with an analytical mind that misses nothing. When a narcissist tries to spin their web of lies, a Sigma doesn't just hear the words, they sense the motives behind them. It's like their radar is fine-tuned to pick up every little inconsistency, every subtle shift in tone or body language, exposing the true intentions hiding underneath the facade. What makes this terrifying for manipulators is how effortlessly it happens. Narcissists are used to people being dazzled by their charm, falling into their traps without resistance. But Sigmas are immune to all of it. They don't get swept up in emotional performances or pity plays. In fact, the more dramatic someone gets, the more focused a Sigma becomes, dissecting the act with clinical precision. They don't just recognize manipulation, they decode it in real time, like someone unraveling a poorly constructed puzzle. This ability throws narcissists completely off balance. Their power lies in their ability to control narratives and exploit emotions, but when faced with someone who doesn't react as expected, they're left fumbling. A Sigma male doesn't argue or confront manipulators directly. That would give them the attention they crave. Instead, they let the manipulator's own tactics backfire by calmly pointing out the contradictions or simply refusing to play along. What's worse for narcissists is that Sigmas never make a big show of exposing them. They do it subtly, often with a single remark or look that makes the manipulator feel utterly transparent. For someone whose entire persona is built on deception, being read so clearly is nothing short of terrifying. It's like being stripped of their power in an instant, leaving them defenseless. Number 2, they're impossible to guilt trip. Guilt is the go-to weapon for narcissists, a tool they wield with precision to make others bend to their will. But when they try it on a Sigma male, they might as well be throwing punches in the dark. Sigmas are so self-aware that they've mastered the art of emotional boundaries. They know where their responsibility ends and someone else's begins, which makes guilt-tripping them an impossible task. When a narcissist tries to manipulate a Sigma with lines like, "After everything I've done for you," or "I guess I'm just not good enough," they hit a wall of calm detachment. Sigmas don't bite because they see through the tactic instantly. They understand that guilt is often a projection, someone else trying to offload their insecurities or mistakes onto them. Instead of absorbing the blame, they let it bounce right back. This refusal to play the guilt game leaves narcissists scrambling. Guilt is their ultimate control mechanism, the emotional leash they use to keep people compliant. But when a Sigma doesn't react with remorse or over-apologizing, it's like pulling a trigger on a gun that doesn't fire. The narcissist is left powerless, unable to extract the emotional currency they rely on to dominate the situation. What makes this even more terrifying for manipulators is how unapologetic Sigmas are about their boundaries. They don't just reject guilt, they reject it with quiet confidence, as if to say, "Nice try, but I'm not carrying that for you." This level of emotional independence renders the narcissist's manipulation tactics useless, forcing them to confront the one thing they fear most, their own inadequacy. For a Sigma, it's not about winning or losing, it's about refusing to play the game altogether. Number 3, they have nothing to lose. Narcissists thrive on leverage. They manipulate people by exploiting their fears, desires, or attachment to status, relationships, or material possessions. But when they encounter a Sigma male, they find themselves completely out of tools. Sigmas are so detached from societal expectations and material attachments that they simply don't play the same game. Threatening to withhold approval, tarnish reputations, or take away things holds no power over someone who's already free from the need for external validation. Sigmas have cultivated a lifestyle and mindset where their sense of worth comes from within. They aren't chasing promotions, flashy accolades, or shallow recognition. This self-sufficiency makes them immune to coercion. A narcissist might try their usual tactics, like dangling opportunities or issuing ultimatums. But it's like trying to bribe someone who doesn't want what you're offering in the first place. Sigmas are perfectly content with walking away, and that scares the life out of narcissists, whose entire strategy hinges on people clinging to what they stand to lose. What makes it worse is how calm Sigmas are about it. They don't make dramatic exits or deliver fiery speeches. They simply shrug and step back, leaving the manipulator stewing in frustration. Narcissists crave control, and losing it to someone who doesn't even care enough to engage is infuriating. The Sigma's detachment acts as a mirror, reflecting the manipulator's lack of real power. At the end of the day, a Sigma male's independence is their shield, and their refusal to be tethered to societal expectations or material gains is their ultimate weapon. Narcissists are left grasping at straws, unable to exploit a person who has nothing to lose and everything to gain by staying true to themselves. Number 4, they're immune to flattery and ego stroking. Flattery is the manipulator's honey trap, but for Sigma males, it's just noise. Narcissists are experts at wielding compliments as weapons, using them to inflate egos and steer people toward their agenda. Yet when they aim this tactic at a Sigma, it lands with a resounding thud. Sigmas don't hinge their self-worth on external validation, so compliments, especially hollow ones, roll off them like water off a duck's back. Narcissists thrive on ego games, expecting their carefully crafted praise to light up a person's insecurities or need for approval. But Sigmas don't need their egos stroked. Their sense of confidence is rooted in who they are, not what others think. Throw them a flurry of compliments and they'll likely respond with a polite nod or an indifferent thanks before moving on, leaving the narcissist flustered and scrambling for plan B. What's more infuriating for manipulators is that this immunity to flattery doesn't come from arrogance. It's not that Sigmas think they're too good for admiration, it's that they value authenticity above all else. They can sense when a compliment is genuine and when it's a ploy. If the latter, they'll dismiss it without a second thought, refusing to let their emotions be baited. This leaves narcissists utterly baffled. Praise is supposed to be their golden ticket to emotional control, yet with Sigmas it's like trying to fish in a pond where the fish don't bite. They can't hook them, sway them, or manipulate them because Sigmas simply don't operate on the same emotional frequency. For a narcissist, there's nothing more terrifying than realizing their most charming weapon is utterly useless. Number 5, they don't need revenge. Their existence is enough. For narcissists, control and dominance are everything. And when they lose their grip, they crave revenge or the satisfaction of watching their victim crumble. But Sigma males don't give them the satisfaction. Instead of retaliating, plotting revenge, or playing into the drama, a Sigma remains calm, detached, and unapologetically focused on their own life. This in itself is the ultimate revenge. A quiet, steady reminder to the narcissist that they've failed spectacularly. Sigmas understand that engaging in revenge is just another form of emotional investment, and they refuse to waste their energy on someone who doesn't deserve it. While a narcissist might expect a dramatic reaction, anger, tears, or desperate attempts to get even, what they get instead is silence. This lack of response is maddening because it denies them the validation they so desperately seek. A Sigma's refusal to play along leaves the manipulator spinning in their own frustration, replaying their failure over and over again in their mind. What's even more unsettling for narcissists is that the Sigma's unbothered existence becomes a constant source of torment. Every time they see the Sigma thriving, unshaken, and completely unaffected by their antics, it's a brutal reminder of their own powerlessness. For someone whose identity hinges on control, this is the ultimate defeat. Sigmas know that nothing is more infuriating to a manipulator than irrelevance. By simply living their lives with confidence and independence, they flip the script, making the narcissist feel like the one who's been left behind. No revenge plan, no confrontation, just the quiet power of being untouchable. For a narcissist, there's no greater humiliation than realizing their best efforts couldn't leave a dent in someone who refuses to give them any importance. Number 6, they're masters at turning the tables. Manipulators rely on confusion and emotional chaos to maintain control, but Sigma males are like human mirrors. Whatever manipulation you throw at them gets reflected right back. Narcissists, who thrive on gaslighting and twisting reality, find themselves walking into a trap when dealing with a Sigma. Instead of getting tangled in the web, a Sigma calmly unravels it, exposing the manipulator's tactics for what they are. Sigmas are sharp, observant, and emotionally grounded. They don't just spot manipulation, they dissect it. When a narcissist tries to gaslight them, a Sigma doesn't lash out or crumble. Instead, they ask the kind of pointed questions that make the manipulator squirm. Why does that seem inconsistent with what you said earlier? Or can you clarify what you mean? It's not aggression, it's surgical precision. Narcissists thrive on ambiguity, but Sigmas force them into clarity, which is where their lies and distortions fall apart. What really throws narcissists off is how calm Sigmas remain throughout the interaction. Manipulators expect emotional reactions to their tactics, anger, tears, or confusion. But when a Sigma refuses to play along, it shifts the power dynamic completely. The narcissist, who thought they were in control, suddenly finds themselves on the defensive, trying to justify their actions or words. And when the tables turn, Sigmas don't gloat or seek revenge. They simply walk away with their dignity intact, leaving the narcissist to stew in their exposure. There's nothing more humiliating for a manipulator than being outplayed by someone who didn't even need to try hard. By maintaining their composure and shining a light on the manipulation, Sigmas turn what was supposed to be a power play into a spectacle of the narcissist's own downfall. Number 7, they prioritize authentic relationships only. For a Sigma male, relationships are built on authenticity or not at all. They don't waste time entertaining fake smiles, half-hearted gestures, or shallow flattery. Narcissists, who operate by projecting charm and crafting hollow connections, quickly realize they're dealing with someone who sees straight through their act. For a Sigma, a fake persona isn't intriguing, it's exhausting, and they won't even bother engaging. What makes this dynamic so frustrating for manipulators is that Sigmas aren't cold or antisocial, they're selective. They value meaningful connections rooted in trust and mutual respect, which is the one thing a narcissist can't provide. Narcissists depend on people who are willing to overlook red flags in exchange for fleeting validation. With Sigmas, there are no blind spots. The second a relationship feels performative or transactional, they disengage. For narcissists, gaining access to someone's inner circle is key to exerting influence and control. But with Sigmas, that inner circle isn't even visible unless you're genuinely aligned with their values. Narcissists are used to picking locks, chipping away at insecurities, using charm as leverage, but with Sigmas, it's like trying to open a vault that doesn't have a keyhole. There's simply no entry point for manipulation. This relentless prioritization of authenticity doesn't just block narcissists, it drives them to despair. Manipulators rely on their ability to infiltrate, twist, and exploit relationships. When faced with a Sigma's unshakable standards, they're left feeling powerless. For a narcissist, being denied access to someone's emotional world is infuriating. For a Sigma, it's just another day of keeping their circle clean and their energy untainted. Number 8, they don't engage in power struggles. Narcissists live for power struggles. They see every interaction as a battlefield where they must come out on top. But Sigma males, they don't even show up for the fight. Instead of engaging in back and forths or wasting energy on ego-driven games, they quietly step aside and let the narcissist flail in frustration. For manipulators who crave dominance, this is the ultimate insult. It's like showing up to a wrestling match only to realize your opponent didn't even bother lacing up their boots. Sigmas understand that power struggles are a trap, a lose-lose scenario designed to drain their energy and boost the manipulator's fragile ego. They don't feel the need to prove themselves to anyone, let alone someone who thrives on conflict. This refusal to engage isn't a sign of weakness, it's an act of self-preservation. They value their peace over petty victories, which narcissists interpret as a blow to their inflated sense of importance. The brilliance of this approach is that it leaves narcissists in a bind. Without a willing opponent, their entire strategy collapses. Narcissists need emotional reactions to fuel their games, anger, frustration, or even compliance. When faced with a Sigma's calm indifference, they're left with nothing to latch onto. Their attempts at baiting or provoking fall flat, and the lack of response highlights just how powerless they truly are. Walking away isn't just a strategy for Sigmas, it's a lifestyle. They don't entertain drama or waste time on people who don't add value to their lives. For narcissists who rely on chaos and conflict to assert control, this detachment is both confusing and infuriating. In the end, the Sigma's refusal to play leaves the manipulator wrestling with their own emptiness, a fight they're destined to lose. Number 9. They're masters of boundaries. Sigma males are unparalleled when it comes to boundaries. They don't just set limits, they reinforce them with a quiet authority that leaves no room for negotiation. The moment a boundary is crossed, a Sigma doesn't hesitate to push back, making it clear that their space, time, and energy are not up for grabs. This is exactly what drives narcissists and manipulators to the brink. These types thrive on exploiting weaknesses, testing limits, and bending others to their will. But Sigmas have no such weaknesses. Their boundaries are non-negotiable, and they don't bend just because someone else's ego demands it. Narcissists can't stand this. To them, boundaries are an invitation to find loopholes, an opportunity to manipulate until the other person gives in. But Sigmas don't play that game. They're not swayed by guilt trips, emotional blackmail, or charm that tries to slide past their guard. If a narcissist tries to overstep, they're met with an unwavering response that makes it clear they've hit a wall. This isn't the kind of wall you can push down with threats or flattery. It's impenetrable and completely resistant to any pressure. For narcissists, encountering a Sigma's solid boundaries is like repeatedly trying to break through an invisible barrier. Each attempt only reinforces the realization that they're powerless against it. Their usual tactics, guilt, charm, manipulation, become useless. They're left trying to recalibrate their entire approach, only to fail over and over. The beauty of a Sigma's boundaries isn't just that they're effective. It's that they force narcissists to face the reality that they can't control or influence someone who values their autonomy that fiercely. The frustration of running into that wall is the last thing any manipulator wants, and yet they encounter it every time they try to cross paths with a Sigma. Number 10. They aren't impressed by superficial charm. Narcissists are masters of charm, the kind that dazzles and draws people in like moths to a flame. They know how to project confidence, style, and charisma to get what they want, and they use it as a powerful tool to manipulate and control. But Sigma males don't fall for it. They have a keen radar for anything fake, an instinct that cuts straight through the polished surface to the hollow core beneath. To them, superficial charm is just that, superficial, a flashy illusion that holds no weight. Where a narcissist's charm is aimed at creating dependency and admiration, the Sigma sees it as a warning sign. They've built a life based on authenticity, where real connections and genuine interactions mean more than any hollow compliment or grand gesture. When they sense the telltale signs of insincerity, exaggerated stories, over-the-top compliments, or flattery that doesn't align with action, they don't waste a moment. They disengage, leaving the narcissist staring at their own reflection in a shattered mirror of failed attempts. This ability to see through the smoke and mirrors is what terrifies manipulators. Narcissists thrive on a carefully crafted facade that they hope will distract and seduce. When that facade is met with indifference or dismissal, it shakes their whole world. The Sigma's indifference doesn't just signal disinterest, it's a reminder that charm without substance has no power. It leaves the narcissist feeling exposed, stranded in a reality where their manipulative tactics don't work, and their game is over before it even starts. In a world where narcissists and manipulators thrive on control, power, and the illusion of influence, the Sigma male stands as an unyielding force. His self-awareness, unbreakable boundaries, and refusal to play by anyone else's rules make him the ultimate challenge for those who seek to dominate. The way he dismantles their tactics with ease whether by resisting guilt trips, remaining impervious to flattery, or simply not playing the game at all, shakes them to their core. The Sigma's life isn't about proving anything to others. It's about living on his terms, detached from the need for validation or approval. To a narcissist, a Sigma male is both an enigma and a threat. His calm indifference is more disarming than any confrontation, and his ability to flip the script leaves them floundering in frustration. The power dynamic shifts, and suddenly, the manipulator is the one left trying to get a foothold in a world they're not equipped to navigate. So, when you look at the Sigma male, remember he's not just surviving in a world that craves control. He's thriving, unbothered, and whole. And for those who think they can manipulate or sway him, they're already on the losing side, playing a game they don't even realize they've already lost. The Sigma male doesn't need to prove anything. His very existence is proof that there's a power beyond manipulation, one rooted in authenticity, independence, and an unwavering sense of self. For the narcissist, that's the most terrifying truth of all. If you found these insights intriguing and want to dive deeper into what makes Sigma males so compelling, and why they unsettle the narcissists and manipulators of the world, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Join our community for more captivating content that peels back the layers of personality dynamics, power plays, and the extraordinary traits that set certain individuals apart. Hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and stay tuned for more, because you won't want to miss what's coming next. Your support fuels our journey to bring you the most unique and powerful perspectives. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now, and see you in the next video.